Buddy, if it's your first time with us today, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Today we're going over checkmate patterns, and one of the most exciting and quick checkmate patterns there is the scholar's mate that we're looking at here today. Almost any beginner has seen this pattern at one point or another. Either you've had the wonderful chance to play it against your opponent, or like some of us unlucky souls, you've had this used against you. So what is the scholar's mate? What should we be looking out for? How can we use it against our opponents and make sure we don't fall prey ourselves? Well, first of all, this is a pretty fun checkmate to play. If you've seen The Queen's Gambit, our fun new series on Netflix, you've seen the scholar's mate before. Mr. Shable uses this against Beth when she's a young girl learning how to play. One of the first ways that he defeats her, really just trying to humiliate her in some ways with this. And even Woody Harrelson has attempted to use this scholar's mate. He tried in an exhibition match against former world champion Garry Kasparov, a rather humorous attempt for a quick victory, which of course the former world champion did not allow. So how do we get going with this scholar's mate here? Well, let's see what white does. He's going to go ahead and open up with a nice move, e4. And black will reply, e5. Both pieces are attacking the center, white and black, standard opening moves here, nothing too crazy. And white's going to go ahead and develop this bishop out to c4. Now this is a pretty good developing move with our bishop. Typically we like to bring our knights out first, but there's a specific idea in mind with this move, bishop to c4. So let's say that black here, maybe he plays knight to c6, bringing out a knight of his own, moving toward the center. This is all pretty standard things, nothing too crazy, right? Well, now white's gonna go ahead and activate the lady. Here comes the queen, queen to h5. So what's the idea here? What does white have up his sleeve? And how can black go about either preventing this, or what's going to happen to black? Well, if black plays the move knight f6, this seems like a sensible move, right? I'm attacking the queen here on h5. I'm attacking the pawn on e4. And after white moves his queen, I'm going to have gained a move. I'm attacking the center. Everything looks happy. Well, what's white going to do here? What will be the final knockout blow that he can deliver? Go ahead, take a look at the position, see if you can find it. And if you chose the brutal queen takes f7, there it is, checkmate. And that's the scholar's mate, folks. So how did that happen once again? Let's go back a couple moves. After e4, white decided to bring out that bishop to c4. We're targeting this point f7. Why is f7 such a weak target? Well, it's only defended once by the king here in the opening. The other squares in front of the king are defended multiple times, either e7 or d7. You have bishops and knights and queens all defending these squares. Lots of defense, but f7 not so much, so it can become a very easy target. So after this move in queen h5, we have two attackers on the square, and after knight f6, mate can come quickly. Now, how can we make sure this doesn't happen to us? Beware of that square. Beware of the f7 square as black, and as white, be sure to look out for your own square of f2. As I mentioned, these are very weak squares early in the opening, so you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on it. If your opponent starts aiming his pieces at those squares, you want to make sure you have a way to keep yourself protected. If you have any questions on this, be sure to leave it in the comments below, and hoping that you don't fall prey to any scholar's mates in the future, and maybe you'll even be lucky to deliver a finishing blow of your own.